Burglar! Hi, Dad. Hello!
Hi!
Hi! You're having a shower. Hi, Mommy!
Had I known it was you, I wouldn't have been so worried.
Oh, I'm here to commandeer your driveway. All right, guys. Here's today's project. Well, I mean, it's always a project on this thing, but we're doing internal wiring harness on this Cat C15 MXS. I just want to make a quick note that my usual device of filming is having some issues with it freezing up and not wanting to do stuff. Running a test video. There it goes. It froze. Yeah, so I'm having issues with this camera, so I'm using my phone for this. So this is what we're dealing with here. These two are the external wiring harness. They're also going to get replaced if I have time at the end of the day. But the internal is underneath the rocker cover here. So we're gonna have to take off the piping, take off the valve covers, take off the rocker cover, and depending on how this cooling hose and the fuel lines get in the way, I was told I might have to remove the rocker assembly, but we will see what happens when we get to it. Another side note I'm going to add here is that this Milwaukee packout stuff has been an absolute game changer for me. I've basically made up a portable tool set with all this stuff. I'll do a separate, more in-depth video on this at some point in the future. But yeah, this, I can, anytime I'm working on something outside of my own garage, I can bring pretty much, not all my tools, but a lot of them, all the ones I usually need, and it all fits in the pack-out system, so it's really cool. Bye, Daddy! Bye-bye! All right, work mode engaged. Guess those clamps go off first. Okay, here's where we're at right now. Got the valve covers off. I unplugged these injector pluggy thingamabobs, and you can see that it's been pushing oil through. And I mean, not that that's our main issue. The main issue to figure out is the shake that I've been getting and some crappy winter starts. But that little bit of oil shouldn't be pushing through the these plugs. So I mean, we're gonna change it. It's due for changing anyways. Okay, everything is disconnected. I have to undo all these bolts to get the rocker cover off. This is what I was kind of wondering about over here, but it's already unplugged. I think that was an IVA oil pressure sensor or something like that. But this guy over here, I don't know, is that a fuel line? We're about to find out. Well, I'm gonna assume that was oil or something. Sure. So gotta undo these as well and undo the injectors. Now these bolts are kind of what I was wondering about, because I'm sure there's some sort of specific torque sequence or a torque spec, same with this one, that needs to be correct. But I mean, that's a problem for future Matthew. Right now it's just taking things apart and hope that it goes back together again later on down the road. So I just loosened these off, and all of a sudden the engine starts making all this creaking noise. Sounds like air brakes. Now the whole thing's about to collapse in on itself. Just watch. So whatever these things are, there's oil pressure behind them. Because when we undo it, come on, line up. Whoops. It's all sorts of oil that gushes out. Cool. All right, side project time. I'm running out of room on my tire to store all these tools, and up there to store more tools. So I found a bench, or I guess a foldable table in my parents' garage, but all the things are missing screws. So we're gonna fix this for them and then use it. Bam! Done! Okay, so all the bolts are out. They're laid out in the specific pattern that they came out in, because there's a bunch of short ones, a bunch of long ones, and it's nice to get them not all mixed up. But this is what I'm worried about right here, is this little oil pressure sensor, I'm assuming, is going to contact against this bar, which is technically holding up the weight of the hood right now. So I'm probably gonna pull the sensor out, pull the sensor itself out, and then I believe the rocker cover can come off. Okay, upon extensive research, this is the IVA oil pressure control valve, and I mean, I tried to get it off with this nut. Yeah, but I'm thinking we're gonna have to take it off from this nut. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I just don't want to break anything, because that could be bad. All right, that should be everything for the rocker cover to come off with the wiring harness on it. So nothing left to do but to do it. Probably gonna make a lot of people cringe with this. No, that is how it goes. What's going on back here? Oh, there it is. Are you attached? Are you a bolt? I think that's a bolt. Alright, missed one bolt. here. Okay. One non-ferrous bolt. Okay, let's go to the other side. I've enlisted the help of my mommy. Okay, so this whole assembly we have to lift up, but it's getting caught on this side and that side, and it's just awkward for one person, so I want to see if we can get it off without having to take the rocker assembly off. So just lift up.
I'm just giving weight. I'm letting you
Yep.
do the direction.
Lift there. Now this side it's only caught on the fuel rail. I just don't have room to work between this fuel rail and that point, and I mean that side will probably come out, but I think I have to take this assembly off, which is gonna kind of suck.
It's got what, 2 bolts?
No, it's got a bunch of bolts, but that's the whole adjustment for the overhead.
Oh.
But as long as it comes out in one piece and the engine doesn't rotate at all, should be okay with it. Okay, got confirmation that if we just slowly undo it outside first and then inner ones, and it'll start to lift up. We should be able to lift it out without having to redo the top end, because I don't have the tools to do that right now. So yeah, we'll give her a shot. It's definitely torqued to something. And it's a different bit for the rest. Jesus. Torque. Holy. Okay. That's how you want to play it. That's it. Okay. Free. That one's free. They're all free. Okay. You still holding things on? What are you? Okay, according to the internets, this bolt has to be removed too. So we'll pull it and then pull the whole assembly off, and then the whole cover should be able to come off. I really hope this bolt needs to come out. You are going to go on the table. Yep. Okay, whole assembly will come off. Grip this. Haha. Yes, good. Okay. Get off the injector. Why did you hop back on? Alright. There's the assembly. Almost one piece. This. Nice. Whoops. Okay, so this is the internal wiring harness, and it looks like everything is fed through from the outside in. So we have to undo all these metal clips and zip ties wherever they are. My dad's working on his car, so he's yelling at me about whatever he's doing. But yeah, let's get her done. I do want to mention that the only little bit of wear that I could find was on this one. Focus on the right thing. See, the green wire's got a little tiny bit of wear there where it was rubbing against the orange one. Now it's not through to the actual wire, so I don't know if that's actually the cause of it. And I think this is number 4, because right now it's upside down, and so it goes burp and then, so yeah, I think that's number 4 injector that's screwing up, even though it's number 3 that's not responding in a cutout test at certain RPMs. But regardless, it's getting changed. Okay, so here's what I'm dealing with now. I have the new wiring harness kind of laid over top of the old one, and everything lines up, but the colors are different. Like, see here, we got green and purple versus brown and purple. Now that might be, or brown and green versus purple and green. Now the purple might have turned to a brown over the years. Same with the blue turning to green here, the white turning to orange, and the purple turning to red, maybe? I don't know. These two are about the same, and then those two are about the same. And you go to injectors and we have green and orange versus green and red, white and orange versus yellow and red. Okay, so if we assume that colors have faded, that's possible. But the other thing is, I didn't check which orientation the injector goes. Like, is there an upside down for this? Because you can technically flip the wires around. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Probably look back on old videos to see what was what when it comes to install time. Okay, so I did the harness on this side, all put back together except for the zip ties at least. And then as I'm doing this one, I'm thinking, how does it seal on this outside of the casing? And I look at this and, oh, it's got this little red gasket type of thing, but if you look at the new harness, it's not there. And I can guarantee that it's not there on that one either. So one, I don't have new gaskets, so I'm gonna reuse these ones. But two, I have to undo all this work to put in the old gasket, because you gotta feed it around all the wires and put it at the end. Great. So a little note with these gaskets, there's kind of a curved end and a square end. And I think on the other one I put the square end up, and this one the square end is going down. So I don't know which one's correct, and one of them might leak, and if it does, that's probably why. Also, these gaskets are original to the truck, I'm assuming. So yeah, there's that too. What also worries me is that little tiny nick on the corner. So that may or may not push oil. I don't know. We'll find out in the future. What is this, rush hour? God. Anyways, everything on this is back together and it should work. But the gasket for this stuff is actually pretty interesting because it comes with a thing and you just feed it through and then cut off the access and overlap it and use some gasket maker. Whether or not you use the right one is up to other people to decide for me. But yeah, I just slap it in. And now I don't know with these injector thingamabobs if you can put them in upside down or not. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then, of course, once it's in, the zip ties get cut off with the right lengths and everything's all tight and back together. But yeah, let's put her back in the truck, I guess. Okay, so finally got the rocker cover back in place. I haven't put any of the nuts on yet. I'm gonna deal with the Jake housing first. And according to the internet, you tighten down in sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at 70. I've heard between 77, 78, and 81 foot-pounds, so it's somewhere around there, I'm thinking. And then these are going to be 6 and 7, and that'll be 35 foot-pounds, I believe. Yeah, maybe I should do this first, because if for whatever reason it has to come off, this has to come off as well. Okay, I'm gonna put this on first then, and probably button up all the connectors and then tighten the zip ties and put everything up. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Okay, these are all plugged in. This is torqued down. Spacer plate or rocker cover is not torqued down yet. The internet is saying that these are 13 foot-pounds, so you can definitely over tighten them. Okay. Well, the wiring harness is all connected and put back in, put back together. I did a little bit of an extra step, and anywhere where the wires might rub, I put this old zip tie wire separator kind of dealio in. This is an old trick that I first found from David Freiberger on Roadkill. He did it for spark plugs, and it's also kind of close to this edge right here, so that's hopefully going to stop it from rubbing against there. Yeah, but he would do that for spark plugs, and it works really nice. So yeah, again, anywhere where they could possibly rub, it's got zip ties separating it so they don't rub together. Anyways, got to put on the oil galleries. The internet is saying to replace this O-ring, but I don't have a replacement for it, so it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. And yeah, put those back in, torque them down to whatever spec the internet says, and that's pretty much. Oh, I got to put that sensor back in, then connect that. That was the first raindrop. Oh crap. Okay, I might have to put up a tent. Yikes. All right, I'm in a little bit of panic mode right now because I have half an hour until it starts pouring rain, and I have no idea what's going on with these little stupid, I don't know what they are, like oil quills or something. That's what I can find out on the internet. It's getting cold, it's getting dark, and I mean, that's like the last step I have right now is to figure out what the oil quill things are. But I gotta stop recording to flip it around. But I put the valve covers on, just covering things up for now, because I think I gotta pack all my crap up and yeah, get out of here. But this is the oil quill thingamabob that I'm wondering about, because I mean, there's O-rings in here, and it's a weird thing. You have to, like, you take it off and then you push it up. Yeah, you push it up, and I don't know. It's got some funky stuff going on, and I'm just looking for the torque spec on this thing and these two, but I'm thinking that there's something funky going on with this, and I can't even really find out what it's called, and no one's like written up anything or given any specs on it that I can find. So I'm gonna go inside and do some research, figure out what to do with this. But other than that, it's basically the last step, because then you just slap that on, you slap the breathers on, make sure everything runs, and yeah, it's done. I'm gonna deal with the external wiring harness another day, because obviously I'm running out of light. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna do a quick old pack up and get out of here. All right, it's a brand new day, and yeah, it's been raining since we left off. Why is AEAF lock on? That's weird. Okay, whatever. There we go. So we left off, everything put back together except for this guy right here. From what I can understand, this is an oil connector, oil bridge or something like that. Is basically a tube. There's a oil rail. This either feeds, yeah, I think this feeds the oil, and this is a check valve in it so it doesn't backfeed into the engine, and this is all full of oil in the rocker cover, and then this bridges the oil from there into the Jake housing or IVA housing or both, I'm not really sure, but it holds oil under pressure. This has a few O-rings and stuff, and I don't really understand how it works, but basically to put it back together you just tighten it down. So that's what we're gonna do. I also have a feeling I forgot to torque these bolts down yesterday, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but they're 13 foot-pounds according to the internet. So I'm gonna recheck these and then tighten these down and do a test run. All right. Oh, it just started to rain. Crap. Valve covers off. See if everything runs. Get these valve covers back on. Water doesn't get in. Holy crap. Why did it start raining now? Do not exceed 25 pounds in clamping force. Probably. All right, whole thing's put back together. I don't want to drive it on the street because I just paid for a $78 truck wash plus the trailers. And I want it clean for next week, so I'm not going to drive on wet, dirty roads. So we're just going to test it in the driveway here, probably build up air pressure, because I'm pretty sure I'm down to like nothing. Oh, I still got like 55 PSI or something. She fired a lot of smoke. But I mean, that can be expected. How's my shakeometer doing? Nothing. It's actually running really smooth right now. I mean, you can barely hear it over the low air buzzer. I mean, you can barely hear anything over the low air buzzer, but come on, build up pressure. Let's kick her up a bit. Wow, she runs smooth. Even up there, look, there's no shake. Nothing. I mean, the engine's dead cold right now. Wow. I don't know if this was actually the issue, but right now she is running super nice. Let's see if the jakes work, even though it's cold. Yep. Cool. All right, I am satisfied with that for now. Look, my trailer ABS isn't working. Wonder why. All right, guys. I've been running the truck with the new wiring harness for a full day now, and it solves some of the problems, not quite all of them, but that's kind of expected. So basically I had three things going on with this truck. The first thing was that shake at speed that I've been dealing with since over a year. It's now March, and I've been dealing with it since last February. The other thing was this weird, crappy, cold start thing that I've been having for the last couple months now, I guess, where when it's really cold, like -10 to -20 degrees Celsius out, it smokes and bucks and pops, and you can power out of it, and once you power out of it and clear it up, it runs fine until it gets cold again. Right now it's not quite cold enough to have that symptom come up, so I have a feeling it hasn't solved that, because when you first start it up dead cold in the morning, you rev it up a bit and you can start to get it to buck and pop a bit. So I think that's still going to be an issue that I have to figure out. I have no idea what it could be. I'm wondering if it's possibly a popped head gasket or something, so I'm gonna have to be doing some tests. It passes the bottle test, and there doesn't seem to be any carbon buildup in the coolant itself, but I'm gonna be kind of tracking down that next, I think. But really since the injectors, I've been dealing with a little bit of a shake at certain RPMs and when idling, and ran it on a cutout test, and number 3, like you hit it to a certain RPM and number 3 wouldn't be responding to cutting out or activating, and that has seemed to clear up, which is a good thing. Like, it idles way smoother, it goes up through the RPMs way smoother as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Look at this boy, W9, old tandem axle flatbed, hauling a load of brick, double stacked at the back. That's interesting. Anyways, I guess once this guy leaves, I'll start it up and see how it sounds. Maybe? What are you doing, bud? All right, you're doing your thing. Cool. See, it's a very smooth idle. I got a little bit of movement on the Shakeometer 5000 over here, but we can bring it up a touch. It's usually somewhere around here. That's the worst of it. Yeah, we got a little bit of a shake still. So that spot is still kind of shaky. But you can bring out of it the higher you go, and it's a little bit smoother. I don't know, I might still be dealing with something there, but it does run a little bit better. Never ending. What's everyone doing? My passenger side mud flap on the stairs there is about to fall off, so if you're wondering what that scraping noise is, it's that. It almost feels like a little bit of a hop every once in a while, and I think that's in the rear end there. It just hopped right there. So I mean, I'm still dealing with that kind of little shake thing. Yeah, I'm 99% sure it's in one of the rear ends. When you're running an old truck like this, is that it's just a never-ending stream of things to fix and diagnose and fire the parts cannon at. So this wiring helped a bit, but it didn't solve everything. But I'm okay with that. It did something at least, I think. So anyways, we'll leave it at that and catch you at the next one, guys.